Hey, I'm Charlie Collins here with LVI, and I'm here in Cheshire, Connecticut in my home, shooting this live from my living room. And I'll just explain what's going on here a little. So on the table here, you see a zip. This is a 13-inch. I have a computer here, and I have an accessory XY table that can be added to a zip. I also have a little keypad, a large print, nice external keypad that you can run the zip with. And I have it all plugged into this nice big monitor next to me to help you see, so you don't just get the display on the 13-inch. A little bit about LVI. Kimberly was talking about the Swedish side of the company, the US side of the company here. Our distribution, our warehouse is based in Chicago. We have dealers all around the country. We have Kimberly and I, we have a service center here in the US, in Massachusetts. So we're here. We're here. We have the people on the pavement to do demonstrations, to answer questions, to do some trainings, whatever you might need, we're here to help. And I just want to get that out. So I'm going to start with the zip and explain quickly. The zip can be purchased in a few different configurations. You can buy the zip with a 13-inch or a 17-inch screen. I'm not putting the 17 up here, you wouldn't see me. So we're gonna go, this is the 13. So you can choose your screen size. Then you can choose the camera. Do you want a HD or FHD? FHD in the optics camera world is full high definition. So that means it must be at least 1080p. That's what the FHD camera is. The other one is 720p. It's still high definition, but it's not 1080. 1080 obviously will give you more clarity on less magnification and better in distance and better in low light conditions. I always suggest get the 1080 camera, but the 720 is a couple hundred less, so that's an option. You can also order the zip with or without a battery. And that has to, all these things must be put on the order prior to getting shipped from Sweden or in our warehouse in Chicago, because they're pre-built. So I need to know, do I want an XY table, XY integrated, so no plate, as you see here, it would actually have the table built in. That's going to make it a little bit heavier. So do I want that? Or do I want one with the plate, and if I choose, I can add an accessory XY table, which I'll show you how that comes together. So there's a couple of things you must know. And I have it today connected, as you see, to a monitor, to a computer, and to this. The only reason I can do all that is because I have the connection board on this specific zip. This zip is loaded. It's the best camera, has a connection board and a battery. Of course, the one thing it doesn't have is an integrated XY cable, which I can't add, but I can add the accessory. So I'm going to start off. Why would I want this? Well, if I couldn't reach up to the knobs, or I didn't want to use the knobs, I just wanted to hold this in my lap and use the zip. Or I had it connected to a big screen and I wanted to sit in front of that. Who knows? But I'm going to use it so I don't have to be out in front of the unit. It's very hard to show these things when you're standing in front of them on camera. So I'm going to come around the side a little and just tell you, on the front of the zip, to the left, I'm not sure if it's your right, but here, that's the power. In the middle is the magnification, and if I press the magnification button, it's a finder. It zooms out and then zooms back into the magnification I have. The next button over, it switches between color and contrast, and it's very tactile. And the next one over jumps through the contrast mode, all the different high contrast. And the next button here, that one adjusts the brightness, or if I press it in, if I have the menu system turned on, it puts me into the menu system. So I'll show you. So I can advance magnification or decrease it. Same with the knob. I'm going to then change some of the modes. I'm sorry, I went to grayscale, and now I'm going back to color. There, I'm now switching through my high contrast modes. And once I pick the one I like, it'll always stay there. So I can go back to color or back to my mode. Back to color, And then back to my, it's all about productivity with these. If I'm in the classroom and I want to keep going and stay with the pace of the teacher and what's going on. I know that's not really what's happening lately, but anyway, I don't want to fall behind. This thing, once it's set up, it'll go to, I'll show you when I do distance. It knows what I like in distance magnification, what I like in looking at document magnification. So in the camera system here, and I'll show you, but it does self view, distance, or document view. And it does a lot more. So the nice thing about this is the product can work with very young kids. You could be in kindergarten and start with a zip. But as you grow and you introduce a computer or certain things in your life, if you have a connection board, you can plug it into a computer. You can plug it into a big screen. And I'm going to demonstrate all that. So it's got a lot to it, but it also can be extremely simple. So I'm just going to show you if I had the menu here. Now you see, I'm going to put it in color mode so you can see that better, but it has a nice large print and I can turn the menu on. I mean, that's autofocus. Now I'm going to just go through what's inside the menu. I'm not going to dive into each one, but we can turn autofocus on and off. That might be I'm doing a lot of hand work. I don't want to try to focus on my wrist, just on what I'm working on. Turn it off. Next one is mirror mode. If I rotate the camera around, I'm looking at myself, and I want to do something here, well, it'll show the opposite on the screen, unless I activate mirror mode. View is the brightness of the screen. I'm sorry, I couldn't see that well. Focus, manual focus. So if I have something and I want to look down a shaft of I have an object and I want to get down in it, but I can't seem to focus it, I can manually focus it and get it to get that part of the object nice and clear. Reference lines, I can put horizontal, vertical, lines, and masking. So I can really adapt the screen, either one, to my reading style. Lamp, there's the lamp here. You see it under here. Well, I don't know if you see it, but I'm holding my hand under it. And the lamp obviously gives you light. Now, I don't even need it right now. There's plenty of light in here. So I would go into the lamp, and then I could go ahead and I could turn it down. Oh, I turned it off. Let me see if I push this up, and then you can see it come back on there. So it's a rheostat. I can dim it or go fully bright. I love that. And now I'm going to go back out. It's all set. I'm going to go to the next function, sleep. Sleep is huge. The battery in the Zip goes for 5 to 9 hours. I'm running everything on battery right now. 5 to 9 hours. How do I get more than 5? I activate sleep mode. What does that do? It shuts the screen off and the light off. 2 of the big draws on the battery. But it leaves the machine on. So when I come over and move my hand or move the paper, I activate the unit and it's back up and running. And that's been, now I didn't touch it. If you don't mess with the menu, it goes to sleep on my lamp. Sleep. So that's sleep. The next one is shut it off. So if in 30 minutes, say I set my sleep timer for every 5 minutes, if I'm not actively using it, it goes to sleep. I come back, it wakes back up. But in 30 minutes, if I haven't come back, all the power shuts off. That's also very good. The only way to get it back on is hit the power. Next is here is screen. I can change the brightness of the screen. That's telling me what's in the battery. I think it says 90. And on screen, the display language you can change. And then back to exit, and I hit the button. Now, I'm doing this all with this button right here. But since I have this keypad, which I love, I'm able to, I don't have to be out here. I can be over here showing you the unit with this. I mean, there's many more functions for this, but it's working for me now. So I can now, I'm going to go and show you the Finder. If I hit the magnification button in, it does the, I'm sorry, I can turn it autofocus on and off. I can map each button on here to do certain things. So there, I can do the Finder, and I press the button in, boom, comes back. Now, the Zip, I have plugged into the Zip right now. I have this plugged into the back behind the screen. And it's like an RJ45, like a big phone clicks right in. That's one plug plugged in. Normally I wouldn't have all these cables lying around. The next cable is an HDMI cable. And the next cable is plugged into this laptop here. I normally would not have everything plugged in at once, but I am for the video. So I'm going to pull down on the screen, and I'll also show you how it, with the cables, it's a little harder for me right now, but I'm going to show you how to adjust it, how to open it, how to close it, all the functionality of the zip. But I wanted to start with it all hooked up and then break it down all the way to put it in the bag and go into the next class or the next appointment, whatever it might be. I've been legally blind 40 years. So I was at, I know there's a lot of teachers in here who work with students and people, whatever age they might be, but I was at one for at least 10 years that said, no thanks, I don't need your help. I don't want to be legally blind. I don't want to have an eye disease. I'm all set, thank you very much. I was that tough case for you. But that day came when I finally said, enough is enough, I need help. And when I introduced this stuff, now, gosh, I wish this was around back then. But there's still, when I started in 1991 on a desktop video magnifier, my life transformed. And we all know that. We all know, that's why we do this, I bet. It's because, boy, it's so awesome to see the light bulb go off and somebody take advantage of these tools and their life just changes. So I'm going to show you how I'm going to pull the screen down, and now I'm going to pop up the camera. Now I'm in distance. I definitely don't want my face to get in there. Now I'm going to zoom out a little. Now this is right behind us. But you can see the clarity of what I'm getting here. I'm going to quickly go around the room. You're going to see, I'm going to try, there we are, there's the window. I just want to show you now, those trees are about 80 yards from where I am in the house, down by my shed. Look at this. That's a little too far there. So, and panning, I can pan all around and get real good distance viewing wherever I might be. And as you saw, it went back. So say I liked this mode, this magnification for reading. But when I do distance, I like color. I like it at 5x in color. But now, teacher said, or I'm in a business meeting, and the presenter moves on to something else, whatever, and I want to go back to the document. Boom. I don't have to play with anything. It knows my magnification and my favorite settings. Mine is, I don't know why I'm showing you, but I love this blue. I just think it's nice. But you can get any of these. It's just regular print. You notice as I move it, it stays in too. I mean, I'm a little shaky right now, but you notice as I'm moving it, it keeps the image. There's not a lot of ghosting. It's not shaking. I mean, I might be shaking the table a little bit, but it's a very stable machine. See, and I can just jump right back to color, grayscale, color, or back to my favorite reading mode. Okay, so that's the functionality. Basically what I'm doing is everything you can do here. Kimberly talked about me turning on and off the menu system. I'm not going to do that yet because when this is plugged in, it takes over priority. I cannot do anything with these. They only work because I'm in here now. If I unplug this, then the buttons will come to life. All right. Okay. Oh, that's my TV remote. I had these TVs, Samsung TVs, have screen readers built in. Oh my gosh, Kimberly, huh? This thing was chatty every time I used it, so I shut that off for now. So here's a computer, and let's see. And there's, okay. So now I don't even know if this will work right now. Let's try it. Oh yes, amazing. I thought I was only going to be able to use. So now I'm running through a computer. This is connected, and the computer is connected to this. So why would I connect it to a computer? Well, if I'm in a classroom or in a business place or maybe home, I don't know. But if I want to rotate the camera up and capture a video, capture audio and video, and a presentation of any sorts, I can do that now because it's connected to my computer. This turns into, as you're going to, if you come next week, into an MLS. It allows me to take pictures in the distance, to record video and audio in the distance. It allows me to place anything under it, OCR it, TTS, which I'll do in a shortly. It basically allows me to take all what this camera sees, pass it into the computer, and then I could save. I could take a picture of this document. I could drop it into Word. I could answer questions on a test. I could and then email it back to my teacher. It really opens up a lot more functionality. Now, why did we not build that within the unit? Because we want to keep this thing 8 pounds. We want to make this light, small, compact. I'll show you when I close it. Very easy to transport, to carry around. That's the one with the battery. So I didn't design this. We don't want to load it up with weight and touch screen and all that. Maybe someday we're looking at that, but right now we wanted to keep the Zip simple and effective and a highly productive unit. So I'm now connected to the computer. And again, I would move my document. You notice it's a little different now because I'm running through a processor of a computer. These buttons do not work. The computer runs it. The computer, if I hit the, you would think, if I hit the up arrow, down arrow, well, sorry. It would be nice if I hit the right buttons. There. Up arrow, down arrow. If I want to change, I go to my F keys. I can hit F1 is color, F2 changes that, F3 changes that. So I can swap between the backgrounds and the foreground changing. And then I hit 1, I go right back to color, I think. Yeah. I'm going to lessen the magnification a little. Okay. And now I can run this entire device from this computer. I can do all my magnification, all my modes. And when I OCR, I can do all my reading speeds, and I'll show you that. But so now I don't even have to touch this. I have to put paper under it. I have to put the things or focus it where I want to, and then I can activate the function from the keyboard. If this wasn't plugged in, I could use the front buttons too. But now that this is plugged in, it takes priority. So it's very similar to live, but I'm going to move this. Oh, another thing I wanted to make sure I told you is that in this software that's running is called PC Viewer. If I had a Mac, I could connect my Zip to a Mac and do the same things I'm doing here. If I had a Chromebook, I could connect this to a Chromebook and do the same things. I have a Chromebook. I've tested it. It works. We have a Mac. I've tested it. It works. It works on all 3 platforms. That's the software suite we built to work with the Zip and the MLS. Now, one thing, I am not going to go into the software, a deep dive. I'm not going to share my screen and go into the software. If you want to learn more about the software side of this, you're going to want to come to next week's webinar because Kimberly does a fantastic job sharing her screen and explaining more of that. But I am going to hit Control-H, and I'm going to show you that here's the functions of it. I have camera and OCR. Those are 2 different. Now you can see, I don't know if y'all can, but if I couldn't see, which I really can't, I can enlarge this box by hitting Control plus, I hope, if I remember right. Oh yeah. And then Control minus makes it smaller. And then Control H hides the menu. I want more real estate on my computer screen. Is this? See, when you're plugged in, this goes dark because you're not going to be looking at 2 screens with the same information. Kind of what I'm doing now. It's a little confusing. Okay, so I can, if I, my laptop, this is an i5, 8 gigs of RAM laptop running Windows 10 Professional. So it's a basic laptop, runs all this stuff lightning fast and very well. But this one's also a touchscreen. So I could touch any of these. I can on here. That would be nice someday, but I can't do it here. But I could touch here, and I can pinch. I'm pinching right now on the screen, and I'm zooming. And I tapped it. Oh, tell me about that. It does. Wow. So I could, with 2 fingers, tap and change it to grayscale.
Charlie, a couple questions came in.
All right.
So someone wanted to know if this only works with the premium unit, and I just wanted to say that what Charlie is showing in all of our zips that we have out now, it's called the MagniLink Zip Premium. That is the model that we sell. That is the model that's out there. So everything that Charlie is showing you will work, whether it's HD or full HD. You're fine across the board either way. They're all premium, what he's showing you and what we're selling. Somebody said excellent news. They're glad to hear that. Thank you. And then someone's asking about pricing. You guys, I will talk about pricing, and I can kind of go over that categorically, but I'll do kind of some stuff at the end with that. So I didn't want you to think I was ignoring your question. I didn't ignore it. And someone also said, Charlie, there's a few people on here that have very little or no vision. So they said, like, when you're saying press here or there, could you maybe say the first button on the left or right, or just kind of describe it a little bit more? So they're able to catch that. And thank you. Somebody said, great job, great product. So
thank you.
Thank you.
I will do that. I apologize for not being more descriptive. Even me being legally blind, I just figured people can see.
Oh, we're getting a couple more questions. How does this interact with JAWS and Zoom text?
Well, our software works with JAWS and Zoom text. So I would hit Control, so let me just show you. Here I'm magnifying within Windows. So it's kind of like Zoom text. That's how that would work. It would work with Zoom text or what's the other one? Dolphin, Supernova, and all that. I'm going to take that out. And a screen reader, well, our software has a screen reader built in only for the menu system. So as you drag along each of the menus or use a function key on the keyboard, it's going to announce it and read it to you. So inside our software, you might not need JAWS, but you can not turn on our speech and use a different screen reader. Yes, that is possible. We know it works with Supernova and JAWS and magnification, Zoom text, or Windows magnification. That's all possible. Now, I have no assistive adaptive software on this laptop except for our suite, because I only use Windows magnification and Windows speech that's built into my laptop, and it works fine for me.
So you
Any
guys,
other questions?
A couple questions are coming up, you guys, in regards to the webinar that we're doing. They're saying they can't see all the questions and things like that. So you guys, with the webinar feature, you guys are only able to see certain parts. So I will restate the question before we answer it because you're not able to visually see it. And so I didn't realize that in the webinar. I thought that when somebody put something out to everyone that you could see it. They're asking, is there any audio feedback when the user zooms in or out or changes colors? Like, does it say 4x, 5x? Is there any audio or is it all visual?
Great question. And I don't have that answer off the top of my head. I'd have to go in and turn the speech on inside the software and then start doing those functions, and we'll see if that does do that. Before I go there, Kimberly, you said something about the premium zip, and I want to, yes, we call all our zips premium, but you cannot do what I'm doing unless you buy it with a connection board on it. Kimberly, also, you mentioned pricing. Well, we're the manufacturer. We build, make these things, and push them out to a distribution network. So the only thing we can share with you is suggested full retail. What the distribution network does, how they price on state contracts and things like that, we don't know. So pricing could be all over the place. But we know that, zips start at $26.50 and they go up from there, depending on how you want to build it. So I'm going to go through a little bit more on the software. So let me hit, I'm going to hit F4. F4 scans. Did I hit it? Yes.
U3Y.operate. The unit is fully integrated and designed to both look and feel good.
Okay, so the volume isn't that loud for you. I can hear it fine. I don't know if I'm turning it up. It used to tell me I was doing it. Not anymore.
Distance viewing unit has a built-in distance camera, adjustable both vertically and horizontally.
Okay, it's reading really fast because that's how I liked it. But I'm going to slow it down now. I am going to do that with the numbers. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. All of those numbers and all the F keys all have a function within our software. So if F1
horizontally
starts and stops reading. F2, not F2. 1, number 2 now. Number 2 just jumped back.
J, U3Y.
Now it's
J, U3Y. Operate. Word by word.
I can read word by word.
Character.
Character.
Block.
Block.
Sentence.
Sentence.
Word by word. Character block.
So if in block, if it was a long, if I scanned 30 pages and I wanted to jump around, block at a time, paragraph, whatever, it'll jump around. If I wanted to.
Slower. Slower.
Slow it down. I don't know what number I'm on anymore. I'm sorry, I'm not looking.
Softer. Louder. Louder.
So
softer.
I'm hitting the number keys. Each time I hit it, I know somebody was asking, does it give me feedback? It does when I use those keys, and I don't have speech enabled right now inside the software. I'm just using the TTS speech. So now I've slowed it down. It'll read slow.
Operate. The unit is fully integrated and designed to both look and feel good. Clever.
I didn't slow it down too much. Sorry. You get the idea. So I can now change with my device here, change the I'm sorry, I'm in OCR, so I need to go do. So I can choose. I can magnify this. If I wanted to make this larger, I don't know about that color. We'll just pretend I like this one. Now I can enlarge it. Now I can jump over to the letter B, and I can change it, the view of it. I'm going to go to color so you can see. If you don't mind. Oh, I hit escape. Phew. Okay, so V gives me the different. I can have the document and all the box, the zones. So in a document, each block of text it recognizes, it puts a box around it. If I wanted to touch my screen in a box, it will start reading if I have a touch screen. I can use a mouse and click inside a box on a word, it'll start reading. I could view a picture on a page and listen to the description, or I can follow the text along down here. And then I could change it. I could make it larger. I could change it to just the image. Let me get rid of the menu for you. Give you a little more real estate. Just the scan document, and then I lost the, sorry. It's very hard, and my hands aren't on the home row, so I don't know where I am. Then I can go back to just that. So you see the different views I offer. Oh, I'm sorry, I'm hitting view, and I'll tell you about that. But I can go to my large print, follow along, sentence at a time, word at a time, document and a word at a time underneath, sentence at a time, just the document and click around and read, or back to my large print. So what I did too earlier was I hit the V key. V is view. So if I'm in here and I'm using OCR and I have Bluetooth headphones on or something, I'm listening to a document, I'm in a boardroom and they handed out a bunch of stuff and I'm taking quick pictures because I want to use my zip in there, and I'm listening, and then they jump to something on the screen. I just hit the V key, see? And now I went back to there. I went back to, and I could rotate the camera, and then I could jump back over to the OCR view, back and forth. So I don't mean to be confusing, but what I love about this is I'm in live mode with the touch of a button. I touch that button, now I'm in camera, I'm in an OCR mode. So anything I had scanned, I could just start reading again. I could manipulate the text. I could save the text. I could export the text. There's so many things we could do, but I don't want to go into that today. We'll do that in next week's webinar, the software side of this. Okay, so that is the basic of what I can do once I'm plugged in. That's what I do. When I plug it into a computer, I'm doing distance. So I'm going to do that here. I do the same thing. Oh, there we go. Oh, I'm right here. There's the camera. There we go. So let's see. Again, I'm going to get incredible clarity on this, even through a PC. Okay. And that's where I had it prior. So as I was telling you earlier, it remembers. Back to color. This little thing really amazes me how easy, and they're nice rubberized. I'm holding the external large print keypad that operates the zip. That's what I'm holding in my hand right now. And what I like is the rubberized feeling and the tactile feeling of all these buttons. It's really cool. It's an accessory. Does not come with the zip. Matter of fact, not until not that long ago, I never even tried it with the zip. But now I love it with the zip. So this is the laptop function. I mean, it could be a desktop. It could be a tablet. I mean, this basically is a tablet because it's fully touch screen. I'm touching the screen to manipulate it right now. I'm just excited that. Okay, sorry. It's really cool. What I can do, and again, if I had the icons up, I would just tap on here to activate them. All right, so I'm going to close the laptop. It's going to kill the image. I'm going to then put it back onto the zip. I'm going to show you the XY table. Well, actually, before I close the laptop, Kimberly, anyone have any questions about how do I have it connected? I have it connected with a USB, just a regular old USB into the back of here, just a regular 3.0 USB. And then this is the display port adapter that's allowing me to connect to an HDMI on this laptop. Oh, they're all going to be a little different, but that's how this laptop works. And it's running on battery. Everything's running on battery except the TV. But any questions? I just wanted to give you that overview of the laptop.
So Charlie, some people wrote, great features, great options. Thanks for sharing. And then, yes, the comment was made about they're familiar with our tab, and they're saying some of the keystrokes are similar. And that's the awesome thing, you guys, about our software, whether you're using the tab, the zip, if you join us next week for the MLS, all of the keystrokes are the same. So you've heard Charlie doing F4 to do OCR. It works the same in the tab. It works the same in the S. We write our own software, and we know that a lot of you might be using this with several people, and you might be using several of our products. So we thought, why should you have to learn, 4 different commands to do different things? So we made it very similar and simplistic all the way through. So that was a good catch. That is correct. Same keystrokes. That looks like that's it, Charlie.
I just wanted, I'm hitting F8, and F8 is split screen. So this is cool. If I got my zip hooked up and I wanna jump on my desktop, I wanna open a Word document, I need to jump into Google Classroom, I wanna research something on the internet, I can just tap F8 and jump back and forth. Now I have it just doing half the screen like this. You could do a horizontal, vertical. You could have it go through all the different positions. I removed them in the software, so it only goes to the one I like and back to my full screen mode. So that's, and I have Windows magnification was there. So I'm gonna close this and move on. Let's see what happens. I don't know. Okay. I need the remote. Oh, I'm back on the computer. Okay. All right, so I'm going to now I'm going to show you a little bit of the zip up close. I'm now unplugging the RJ45. This is the keypad. I just unplugged this, and You see it's rebooting automatically. You see it happening on the screen. But like I said, it's just a little, like a camera. Not a camera, a phone line. Remember those? Man, that was back in the day when we actually had phone lines. Not too often now. Now I'm going to unplug the computer. Okay. Now this is the USB cable that I use. I'm just going to let it drop. Now I'm back on here. I'm going to unplug now the, what's this called? HDMI, and I'm going to do a little bit more with the unit here. It's easier with nothing else plugged in. This will give us some nice, pretty pictures. All right, so let me just show you the zip a little. Here's the actual zip. You notice on this, there's no cables hanging around, nothing dangling. It's all housed inside the unit, and this is a little over 8 pounds, very light. I'm going to shut it off. Now, when it's time, I'm going to turn it a little so you can possibly see that better. See it from the side view. I'm going to, when I want to close my zip, I push down on the screen like this, and then I pull on the outer 2 bars here, and here it is. So when I was telling you earlier, I want to keep this thing thin and lightweight. It doesn't have to be used with a computer ever. It doesn't need to hook to a big screen. It could just be this package. Now, when I want to open my zip, I put it down, I put my thumb on the plate, and then I pull on here, and it makes a click noise. It's locking into the first joint. Then I pull around here, and I don't know if you heard that, but it makes a click noise. That's making sure the camera's in the perfect down position. I'll let you see the camera a little better now. Here, see, it pops up, and it rotates this way, all the way for self view. It's a good thing it's not plugged in. And then all the way around this way. Another cool thing is not only does it just rotate, it goes up and down. It goes up and down. So I can get a much better image. I mean, I can track in the class wherever I am. I'm not just fixed to one level. Especially if I'm, sitting down alone, I want to go up higher in the classroom, wherever I am. I keep saying the classroom. I hope we get back to them someday, soon. And then in the back here, you'll see there, you don't want to try this at home, but I'm trying to show you the connection board there. It normally has a nice cover over it, but I took it off for this. And the screen, I turned it on too. Oh, good. But I can adjust it way down here. So if I'm shorter, no problem. I still can get under here. Then I can come up, 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 up. And then another thing I like is that I can walk up. Now it's higher than normal, but I can walk up and do things on here. It's cool. It's like, okay, so I in my garage, I have tools and weed whackers and things that have manuals. I just grabbed this, folded it, went down, put it on my workbench, popped it up. Not only was I able to read, but I needed to look at something and I just turned this and I picked up and I looked and I could see it so clear on here. I'm not wearing a head thing where I'm always hunting. It's just for me, it's easier to bring the object to the camera and get a really good image on the screen here. So I'm going to now show you the XY table. There's 2 tabs on here. I think I got it up high enough. Yeah, but there are 2 tabs here. So, well, I can get it from this side. This is fantastic at home. I love using XY tables. Now I just take this, I'm just sliding the XY table on top of the plate. I didn't see what I was doing. I just felt it go along, and then I felt it hit the tabs, and now it's locked in. So that means now that I can release, and now I have a full, I just probably locked it. Yeah, I did. See? I have a full XY experience now with this. And another cool thing are the brakes. Like, I'm not holding this to move the brake. I have notches, something to grab onto to adjust my brake from each side. Same with this brake back here. So I can friction it. I can apply some friction to the XY table, or I can lock it. I can lock it out here, over here. I can lock it right under it. by sliding these orange, bright, nice orange levers into position. Now, with this on, this unit doesn't, but with the integrated XY, it does collapse and fold. I would not transport it like this in my bag because this, it doesn't close properly. So I personally don't carry this out and about with me. I leave it at home, and when I come home, I just connect it to the zip. Now let me show you a little bit. I'm gonna fold it up. Oh, let me turn it off. And now I'm gonna pull this down. Here's the bag. Here's the bag for the zip. Now it comes with a shoulder strap, and it comes with protective on the all around. It has protection like built in. It's got nice orange pulleys so I can see them nice. So many bags have black ones. I mean, hello. I can't see them stupid black ones. I want these. So, and then what I love too about the inside of these bags is it's orange. Why is that important? Because a black hole is a black hole for me. So lining things up, I rely so much on contrast. So lining up when I'm putting my zip in makes it much easier for me. So now I can see to get it in there nice and easy. It drops in, close it, I'm good to go. So inside the bag though, there's the zip inside it. But in here, I would carry my power cord. And if you buy the one with the connection board, you're gonna get the cables. So you don't have to go and buy them. You're gonna get the USB and the HDMI cable with the purchase. And in here, you're gonna have your manuals. Now, I could sneak that XY cable on top when I put padding over this. Do not do that, but I don't recommend that. I would say no. And then, it just zips up and goes. Does anybody have any questions for where we are now?
Yes, Charlie, there are some questions. Let me go ahead and get them.
Fire away. I love questions.
Thank you very much, Jason. Jason just said that there's many improvements from when he saw the old MLS. So this is the zip, but similar software. So thank you very much for the compliment. Someone wants to know, does the HDMI go to the computer or to the external monitor?
The HDMI goes to the monitor. Computers that have HDMI connections are not inputs, they're always outputs. So the reason a computer has the HDMI most is to send a signal to a display like we were doing. So the HDMI is an output, which then goes to my TV here into the input. That's how I get the image. The only way to connect to a computer is through USB, but you also noticed how good the image was running from here in through the computer, around the cable, up and boom, into the TV, and I still was getting a very good, clean image.
Excellent. Someone else wants to know, will we be doing a demo in the future with the MagniLink Voice 2 that they can attend and get credits?
Yes.
So yes, we will be continuing on with our schedule, but we gave you the schedule today, you guys, for the next couple weeks, but stay tuned and we will have additional webinars.
Absolutely. And well, I just want to say, and please, if you have any suggestions, you want to do just a deep dive into PC Viewer. So Kimberly said something very important. Our PC Viewer acts the same as the Mac Viewer, which acts almost identical in the Chrome Viewer. Chrome has a couple of differences, but not really. It might have a feature or two less, but that's because it's a Chromebook. But those three platforms all are basically the same. So I could jump onto a Mac. I'm not a Mac user. I don't know how to use a Mac. But if you activate our software within a Mac, I don't know I'm on a Mac anymore. I think I'm on a Windows machine because it looks the same. It's so awesome, especially us teaching, training, demoing. I don't have to know everything. I just got to know the platform, and it works on each individual setting.
Couple more really good questions. Someone asked about the XY table and the cost. So let's just talk about cost for a minute. So the XY table is not included, the portable XY table that Charlie showed you. Again, the prices I'm giving you guys are full retail. As Charlie mentioned, we have resellers in all 50 states, and they can offer special pricing. So the XY table retail, full retail is $350. And as Charlie mentioned, the Zip varies. It would start around $2,650, $2,650, all the way up to $3,095, depending on if you want HD or full HD. HD is 920, full HD is, wait a minute, I can't even say that. Yeah, 920 and 1080. Is that right, Charlie?
No, 720
Thank
and
you.
1080.
720, 1080. I'm like, that doesn't sound right. 720 and 1080. I knew it didn't come out right. So it just depends on which one you want. And then if you're adding additional things to the actual Zip, as Charlie showed it to you with a connection board, and if you want text-to-speech, there are some additional charges for those, and same for battery. The great thing about having the battery, as Charlie mentioned, is it works up to 9 hours, 5 to 9 hours. So it's pretty amazing that it can do that. Does anyone have any additional questions? Because I want to make sure I cover a few other things and then make sure that I get the closing code up and all of that as well.
I just want to mention the reason the battery needs to be ordered ahead of time. It's a different board that goes into the unit once the battery is in here. So the board, it's a little different because of power delivery and power saving. So it can't, the one that's just an accessory, AC plug, doesn't have that board in it. It has a different board. So that's why we got to order it up front. So again, let me just be clear. You're working with somebody, unless you or a student, whoever you might be, a client of some sort, and you determine they need a battery. They need a connection board. So however you place your orders, you would then make sure you be distinct about what, be clear about what you want. Another distinction, because when I have it plugged to the computer, I can do full page scanning. Right? I can do easily 8.5 by 11, every bit of it. I cannot do it portrait. I've got to turn the page to landscape. But see, in our software, because a Zip at lowest magnification is not 0. It's about, I think, almost 2x, 1.8, almost 2x. But when you do that, when I'm plugged into my software, I no longer can do full page scanning because it's magnified a little. But we thought about that. And inside the software, you just slide the magnification to 0. So it starts at 0, so it gives you full page scanning. Now, that's with the 1080p camera. The drawback of the 720 camera is it will never do full page scanning, and that's aspect ratio from camera to the distance, this distance here. It can't get a wide enough view because of the limitations of a 720p, which is pixel progressive scanning and stuff that we don't need to know. But I just wanted to make that distinction for you.
Great. Another question popped up, and the answer is yes, but they're asking if the cases come with the products. They like the cases, and that's one of the benefits. We ship with incredible cases, not only, as Charlie mentioned, the coloring, but they're very strong. They can hold the equipment. Charlie and I travel all the time, and I can throw my case up above myself if I'm carrying it, or if I have a suitcase, I literally pack the bags in like a hard covered suitcase. But I'm not talking like an expensive, nice one that I would go, like if I had camera equipment, I'm talking like $100 one from Walmart. And my products have never gotten destroyed. My suitcase has gotten destroyed, but the product has never, ever broken.
Yeah. And Kimberly, yeah, when we used to travel all the time.
Too funny. Too funny. Couple specifications because people are asking different things. So the 13-inch is 8.4 pounds. The 17-inch is 9.5 pounds. And as Charlie mentioned, the magnification range. So let's talk about that. On the 13-inch, it's 1.3 to 35. That's HD. And that's HD or full HD, except full HD starts even smaller. It's 1.1 to 35x. And then on the 17 for HD, it's 1.7 to 45 and 1.4 to 45 on the full HD. either unit, it doesn't matter, 17 or 13. If you get a battery, it's up to 9 hours. So it's not dependent on the size of the unit. That's a good question. So I'm hoping through today, you guys were able to see 3 things that make the Zip unique. So think about that. You'll need to be able to answer that. And then several of the viewing options that Charlie showed. He showed distance, he showed self-viewing, he showed document viewing, and all of the wonderful things you can change. Charlie talked about you can go in and you can change it when you hit F8 to not go through 18 different configurations, but how you want it to be. You can change the voice. You can go in and take things off the menu and customize. So there's so many things you can do. The great thing about the product is it's fully customizable and made for you or for each student or person that you're working with for a job.